In the 14th century, we have the 7 deadly sins: lust, gluttony, greed, wrath, sloth, envy, and pride. The popularity of these 7 deadly sins have made deep impact on the European culture. We are gonna find out the 7 sins in Singapore that have sculptured our modern society today.
Being kiasu. They are rushing for everything they want.
Because they are always rushing to get the first one.
Sometimes when I go board the train, right, then there's a reserved seat, and I sometimes see like those pretend to be like those sleeping and stuff.
Maybe one in the food court.
I would suggest that Singaporeans cultivate this good habit of clearing their own utensils, the tray.
They clean your food even though you're not yet finished.
Complain, but we never really take into consideration what has been done to give us Singaporeans this very luxurious life.
I think people don't appreciate personal space.
They walk very slowly.
Some people move incredibly slowly.
So at times when you're trailing behind them, you really have to walk so you're really stuck that way.
Must be considerate when it comes to queuing.
In the queue, they like to jump queue.
Like some of them wouldn't queue up properly, then they will shout at the person, then behind you, then they shout into your ear.
Sometimes when they see that there's a long queue, they just jump in like that, and they don't really queue. Yeah, they just squeeze in.
So they try to cut by asking somebody else who are in front to join with them to those kind of stuff. Which I think it's not alright.
During the train,
during the morning, it can get very squeezy.
sometimes you can't even get to the train even though there are space inside.
Maybe get someone to manage the crowd.
Especially for those one generation before me.
People crowd at the entrance at the MRT.
I find that they actually love to crowd in front of train doors without letting people coming out. So it's I find that especially irritating.
During lunchtime.
Sometimes at the food center.
They chop seats with the tissue paper, yeah.
They reserve the food court table with packet tissue.
Chop the seat with the tissue paper.
When you're waiting for your seat, some of them give you the most ugly stare that you still haven't finished. Can you quickly finish up your food? I'm waiting for your seat.
Because for this I don't want to say much because beside me they are actually doing this.
Singaporeans these days are less gracious sometimes.
They do not keep the seats in the train on the bus.
Even though the designated seats are already allocated for the pregnant and the elderly as well.
In the MRT, there's a try to test whether the people respond to give out a seat or not. I think that one is not appropriate.
Youngsters should actually give out the seats to the elderly and pregnant ladies.
Those people, they might have a reason not to give out a seat, but nobody will know, and only the person will know.
Lack of courtesy sometimes. English there's this term called excuse me. Some of them just doesn't know how to say that.
Sometimes when people tend to be in a rush, then I feel that they will forget about things.
They will just push you like that.
Their attitude towards elderlies. They don't really give respect to their elderlies and stuff. Vulgarities is very common for them nowadays.
Lift etiquette. They try to close the door as soon as possible instead of getting yourself in.
The way they drive.
I think the drivers need to be much more courteous.
Should give way in the cars.
Lesser of the tailgating. Yeah, so we keep a distance from one another.
They have no courtesy for fellow motorists and also the bicyclists, so people who are biking by the streets.
They never stop for pedestrians even when it makes sense that they should.
The ERP, right? most of people, I don't know why they will slow down their vehicle. You know, that will cause the jam or something.
Being kiasu.
Kiasuism.
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 Kiasul.
They want everything to be number one. They want everything to be first.
Going on and off the bus, usually they are very kiasu.
Snatching taxi.
Like for example, train buses, they always like to rush in and not give way.
They would like to push and all that thing.
I don't know, maybe the society is so competitive that everybody will want to be first and stuff like that, yeah.
How do you think we can move towards a more gracious society?
I think it's got to begin from young, and it means teaching our kids from primary school level up to learn to treat people with respect, to consider how other people feel they were to do certain things or to behave in a certain way. Because life in Singapore is stressful. There are more and more people, it's getting more crowded. People are stressed about their jobs, about relationships. So your self-preservation instinct kicks in, and when you need to preserve yourself, all these reflexes come in, right? To be kiasu, to go and take care of yourself first before other people. So I feel that there needs to be a national level campaign. We're a country that's good at campaigns, right? Make courtesy a way of life, don't litter. So we need somebody to come in and flash these images and adverts on the bus, on our television, on YouTube. Tell people, hey, it's not cool to be inconsiderate.
Do you know how old is Singapore?
Singapore, I think it's about
350.
About 100 over years already.
75, right?
We are very confused here. We still not really know about that.
50? 65, 80, 11, 54 years.
46.
46. Very sure?
Yes.
Can you recite the pledge?
We, the citizen of Singapore.
Pledge ourselves as one united people.
Equality, justice.
Regardless of race, language and religion. Blah blah blah.